Hi all, how are we doing? Hope you're having an amazing day. Just wanting to drop in. If you are joining me live, say hello. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. And I just wanted to get right into it. So, final reminder really today to tell you that my ebook, the ABCs of the TCFD, I've been very generously giving anybody who registers for the ebook 3 extra bonuses. So one is, in addition to whatever you get, everything that you get in the book, we also give you the bonus of knowing what are the 3 misconceptions when you are using the TCFD and disclosing risks within the TCFD framework. So that's really valuable. The second thing is a checklist of what are the 50 plus things that you can look at in your business to overcome climate risk and to consider sustainable operations. And finally, which is the measurement and verification tool, which really will help you quantify energy resource savings. So all these things are just collectively valuable with looking at the TCFD framework. And so the measurement and verification tool is actually not going to be available after tomorrow. And that's because I want that to be a separate resource for organizations that are ready to actually use the tool and ready to take action, because that tool really does need to be in the hands of people who are ready. And that's the key thing here. So that's what I want to say first before I move on. But of course, just to really get it right into it, if you don't know the TCFD and why it's so important, we all know the global financial crisis, right? It hit in 2008. It was super disruptive and people just didn't know what was next. How are we going to get out of this? And so when that hit, the world leaders, the world, financial leaders essentially came together. So from the reserve banks of all of the countries and the political leaders as well in these positions came together, and they held the G20 summit. And part of that discussion was to, improve the financial frameworks, and climate change was, part of that discussion. But when it really came together was post the 2015 Paris Agreement, because businesses realized, these global leaders realized that we need to have a framework that is looking at finance from the lens of climate risk, because climate risk is, of course, a financial risk. So that's really how the birth of the TCFD came to being. And it was developed by an organization called the Financial Stability Board, who were tasked with developing the TCFD. And so when I decided to write this book, I co-authored it with a great friend of mine, Dr. 𝒕𝒐𝒘-𝒂𝒓𝒃, and we decided that it was really important. And look, it is more specific to the Australian market, but it's a really good taster into what you need to be thinking about in terms of the TCFD. But it really just helps demystify what are the areas of risk that your business might be exposed to. So what are the top 3 in particular, although they both fall into 2 particular categories, which is physical and transitional. But what are those risks? So physical being physical risk, transitional being while we're transitioning to a low carbon economy, what are the risks associated with that? And the other is the next thing is, aside from risks, is the financial impacts. So what are the financial impacts of these climate adverse events? And so it's going to cost you business money in so many more ways than you can probably imagine, because, of course, we immediately think climate adverse events, of course, going to impact operations, going to impact our supply chain, going to impact our resource availability, our logistics, but it's more than that. It is going to also impact your business's reputation and the potential of climate litigation. There are so many ways that the financial impacts can come into play. And so understanding that is what this book really helps you with. And the third thing that we cover is the opportunities, because it's not all doom and gloom. There are definitely opportunities and actions that your business can take. And so obviously each business is different and the opportunities will vary, but it's a really good baseline of, what can we start to think about? What are the questions we need to be asking ourselves, and what can we start to do, and how should we do it? So that's what's covered in the book. And of course, as I said, there's the top 3 risks, the top 3 financial impacts, and the top 3 opportunities, But along with that, you're going to get the bonuses that I mentioned earlier, which is the top 3 misconceptions when disclosing under the TCFD, the checklist of what are the things your business can start to look at to become more sustainable, to start aligning to the TCFD, and finally, what is the measurement of these energy and resource savings that you are achieving from the actions that you could take. So this measurement and verification tool is the one bonus that actually will be falling away after tomorrow, and that's because I want to keep that separate from the book. I just really think it is important to fall into the right hands, that it needs to go into the hands of people, businesses, entrepreneurs who are ready to act, and they're actually ready for that action. So that's what's happening around this book. And so if you're ready to, take action, grab it. It is, I'm going to be here in the comments. And yeah, I just want to say, if you're already taking action in this space, what are you doing? What are the steps that your business is taking? Because I think the first place to start is to understand it. And this book really helps you understand it, because there's so many frameworks at the moment. There are so many, ideas around sustainability, and it is complicated, but they all do have a place. I really must say this, that they all have a place and they're all very much important. But understanding the applicability of the TCFD is a really great place to get started, because money makes the world go around. And so, if you're at risk of, financial output because of the climate change impacts, and you're not ready for this financial output or this level of financial output to overcome these impacts, then your business is at risk of failing or flatlining, or having to completely pivot and maybe not being even prepared to do that pivot. So yes, it's so important, I feel, because it plays into the major financial systems that we have in place: the banking system, the insurance system, the superannuation systems, all of these financial systems, and so much more. These are just the biggest ones to really be thinking about, and how that will impact your business. So anyways, I will be sharing the link to the book in the comments, of course. But if you get a chance to look at it, I'd love to know your thoughts and, what ideas maybe it sparked for you. Let me know. I always love hearing from people, and just knowing more about, what they felt was of particular interest or what could improve. Always room for improvement as well. And I welcome all of that. So thank you for joining me today. For those who joined live, I can see a couple of you on LinkedIn. So thank you for joining. I hope you have an incredible day. Take care. All the best. And have a great weekend. Speak to you soon. Bye.